Bonjour et bienvenue sur ma chaîne. Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Cindy. In this lesson, we're going to learn all about the present continuous in French, or rather how to translate this verb form into French. So before we move on to our French lesson, let's first remind ourselves about the present continuous. What is the present continuous? Whenever you're using the verb to be in the present tense, followed by a present participle, that is a verb ending in ing, you're using the present continuous in English. So, for example, when you say I am eating, you're using the present continuous. Among other uses, the present continuous is used to describe something that is happening at the time of speaking. So again, for example, as in I am eating. And it is also used to describe something that is ongoing and true at the time of speaking, such as, for example, he is studying in Paris. So in this lesson, we're going to learn how to translate this verb form in French. So the first thing you need to know is that the present continuous as a verb form does not exist in French. A common mistake people learning French make is to translate the English form word for word using the present tense of the verb être followed by a French present participle. For example, learners would often say something like je suis lisant to mean I am reading, but that is a mistake. It does not make any sense in French at all. Instead, in most cases, you simply need to use the present tense to translate the English present continuous. So in most cases, if you wanted to say I am reading, it would be sufficient to simply use the present tense of the verb lire, to read, and say je lis. That said, if you really need to emphasize the fact that something is happening or being done right now, or that someone is in the middle of something at the time of speaking, you can use the expression être en train de, followed by the infinitive. And in that case, être would have to be conjugated in the present tense. Saying je suis en train de, followed by an infinitive, would be the equivalent to saying I am in the middle of, or I am in the process of, followed by a present participle. And this expression is used to emphasize that whatever you're talking about is happening right now. For example, if you wanted to say they are moving, you could either say ils déménagent or ils sont en train de déménager. Ils déménagent, ils sont en train de déménager. If you choose to say ils sont en train de déménager, in effect, you're emphasizing that them moving is happening right now, so it's similar to saying they are in the middle of moving or they are in the process of moving. Likewise, if you wanted to say she is speaking, you could either say elle parle or elle est en train de parler. You would be more likely to say elle est en train de parler if someone was interrupting, because using être en train de emphasizes what is happening at the time of speaking. For example, attends une minute, tu vois bien qu'elle est en train de parler. Wait a minute, can't you see she's speaking? If you don't really need to emphasize what is happening at the time of speaking, then you should only use the present tense. Elle parle. For example, elle parle au micro, she's speaking at the microphone. Let's have a look at a couple more examples. Je mange, I am eating. Je suis en train de manger, I am in the middle of eating. So, for example, if you just want to say, I am eating carrots, you don't need to really emphasize anything, so you'd most likely choose to just say, je mange, I am eating. But if someone called you when you were having dinner, then you would probably ask them to call you back later, saying, je suis en train de manger. I am eating, I am in the middle of eating. You would choose to use this form because you need to emphasize what you're doing and that is the reason why you can't really take the call right now. Now your turn. How would you say in French, she is getting dressed? She is getting dressed. You would say either elle s'habille or elle est en train de s'habiller if you needed to emphasize what she is doing. Now let's have a very quick look at how to translate the past continuous in French. In other words, let's have a look at how to translate was or were followed by a verb ending in ing. Most of the time, to translate the past continuous in French, you need to use the imperfect tense. But that said, if you want to emphasize what was going on, or that someone was in the middle of something sometime in the past, you can use the expression être en train de followed by the infinitive, but this time you need to conjugate the verb être in the imperfect and not in the present tense. So for example, if you wanted to say I was eating, you could say je mangeais or j'étais en train de manger. And again, j'étais en train de manger is like saying I was in the middle of eating. But most of the time in English you would just say I was eating. Désolé, je ne pouvais pas répondre au téléphone, j'étais en train de manger. Sorry, I couldn't answer the phone, I was eating. Let's have a look at another example. Il lisait le journal, he was reading the newspaper. Il était en train de lire le journal, he was reading the newspaper. He was in the middle of reading the newspaper. I hope you found this lesson useful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it. And if you still have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments. That's what the comments are for. If you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I upload new videos regularly. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, all the links are in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye!